Okay, so here we have like this equation, 16 equals 5t plus 1. So in order to get, like it says, James and Peter have the same amount. James has 16, Peter has 5t plus 1. So in order to get the 16 by the t by itself, I actually like to swap the two sides. You don't have to do it the way they're doing it just here. You can swap the two sides, and then if you take one away from both sides, what you do to one side you do to the other, then you're up with 5t, 16 minus 1 is 15. And then the opposite to timesing by 5 is divide by 5. So just ignore this method here and just use this, okay? So if you're looking at this one here, we have 10 minus r on 2 equals 3. Okay, so the first thing that we need to remove is the 2. So because that's divided by 2, we're going to times 2 on both sides. And we end up with 10 minus r. The 2's cancel out. 3 times 2 is 6. And now the next thing we need to remove is the plus 10. Okay, so we go minus 10 minus 10. We get minus r. The 10's go out. And that's minus r. You've got to keep the minus with the letter that it's with. The sign in front stays with the number. 6 minus 10 is equal to minus 4. And now minus r equals minus 4. Now that's the same as having minus 1r equals minus 4. So the number here to get rid of is the minus 1. And the opposite to timesing by minus 1 is dividing by minus 1. So they cancel out. Minus 4 divided by minus 1 is positive 4. Just don't do it that way. Okay, so let's look at some of these ones. Okay, so A. So we've got 6 times t minus 1. So the first thing we get rid of is the 1. So we plus 1 plus 1. They cancel out. 6t equals 11 plus 1 is 12. The opposite to timesing by 6 is dividing by 6. So divide by 6, divide by 6. It's easier just to put it over. You could put 6 times t equals 12. 6 times t divided by 6. 12 divided by 6. But that can get quite confusing. Sometimes it's easier just to put it underneath. Even if you just went divide by 6, divide by 6. The 6's cancel. And you end up with t equals 12 divided by 6 is 2. See how this one's back to front? I like to first of all swap it and then solve it. So when you swap it, the first thing you get rid of here is the 12. So you go minus 12 minus 12. They cancel out. 5 times s, 32 minus 12 is 20. The opposite to timesing by 5 is to divide by 5 on both sides. You could also just go divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And you just end up with s equals 4. Okay, so this one here, opposite. So the last thing we did was to minus 1. So the first thing we get rid of is the plus 1. So z on 8 equals 2 plus 1 is 3. That's divided by 8. So the opposite is 2 times 8 times 8. So z equals 3 times 8, which is 24. Now this one here, we're trying to find the a, and the a is on the other side. So what we need to do is we need to swap it. So a on 2 plus 3 is 14. Minus 3 minus 3, and they cancel. So you end up with a on 2. 14 minus 3 is 11. Okay, so now let's get rid of the 2. So that's divided by 2. So the opposite to dividing by 2 is timesing 2. What you do to one side, you do to the other. A equals 11 times 2, which is 22. Okay, so this one here, switch it around. Okay, so I actually like to open the brackets first. You could divide by 3 straight away too. That's another way. You could go divide by 3, divide by 3, because that's times all of that. So all of that will be left. 27 divided by 3 is 9. You could have also expanded the bracket and go 3 times y minus 3 times 2, which is 6, is 27. And then solve it that way, like plus 6, and then divide by 3, divide by 3. Anyway, we're going to do it this way. So you can actually get rid of the 3 straight away by just dividing it out. So plus 2, they go out. 9 plus 2 is 11. Okay, we're up to G. So the opposite to this is divide by 7 is times 7. Times 7. Cross the 7s out. W plus 8 equals 7 7s are 49. Minus 8 minus 8. W is 41. Okay, B minus 4 on 2 equals 6. So then you go times 2 times 2. Cross it out. B minus 4. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 4, they cancel. So B equals 16. Okay, this one plus 5, because the opposite to minus 5 is plus 5. They cancel. 25 plus 5 is 30. Divide by 3, divide by 3. 30 on 3 is 10. All right, this one, 8v minus 2 is 64. You could expand first if you wanted to, or you could divide the 8 out. I'll show you both ways. If you divide it by the 8 straight away, it's actually a bit quicker, and you can do that because it's this times all of this, okay? The 8's cancel, and v minus 2 is 64 divided by 8 is 8. Plus 2, so v will be 10. Or you could simply expand it first. 8 times v is 8v. 8 times 2 is 16, is 64. Plus 16 plus 16. 16s go out. 64 plus 16 is 80. And then to get rid of the times 8, you divide by 8. 80 divided by 8 is 10. Okay, so with question 5, this when you're doing these ones, this involves you end up with something like you might have minus 3a equals 6, for example. And when you get rid of the minus 3, you divide by minus 3, not just by 3, because the opposite to timesing by minus 3 is dividing by minus 3. 6 divided by minus 3 is minus 2. And if you had minus 8 equals 9, the opposite to timesing by minus 1 would be to divide by minus 1. The 1's go out. Minus 9 divided by minus 1 is plus 9. And if you had minus a equals a minus 9, that's a 1 there. Divide by minus 1. A equals plus 9. So really what happens here, if you take a good look at it, if it's minus a equals plus 9, then it ends up being, sorry, take that back. It ends up being minus 9, because 9 divided by minus 1 is minus 9. So the sign kind of just changes on the other side. And if you look at this one here, so we got minus a equals minus 9, so plus a equals plus 9. Notice that the minus 9 changed to plus. It changed to plus 9, just there. Okay, so let's do this. Expanding the bracket, 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times a is minus 3a equals 18. Okay, this is like having minus a plus 30 equals 18. So now when you go to solve that, the 30 was like the last thing that you did, and it's the thing furthest away from the a. So you minus 30 on both sides. There you go, minus 30, minus 30. Minus 3 AEs. 18 minus 30 is minus 12. Now that's times 3a. So the opposite to timesing by minus 3. So times minus 3a is dividing by minus 3. Minus 12 divided by minus 3 is 4. Okay, and this one, see how it's back to front? I like to first of all write it the other way around, because if it's equal one way, it's equal the other. So just swap the sides. Times 6 times 6. 20 minus y equals 2 times 6, which is 12. So you can even rewrite this. This is a minus y plus 20 equals 12. And you notice I wrote minus 1i, because it's just got a minus in front. It's really minus 1. Minus 20 minus 20. Minus 1y is 12. Minus 20 is minus 8. That's times minus 1. So divide by minus 1. So y is minus 8 divided by minus 1 is 8. Okay, now what this involves in is, see how you can get rid of the 25, right? That's okay, and you get 10 over c equals 2. So we have a little bit of a problem here, and that is that the c is on the bottom. Okay, so what we could do here is, see how it's divided by c? To get rid of that, you can times c on both sides, and they'll cross out. So you get 10 equals 2c, and then it's kind of back to front, so I might just write 2c equals 10 and write it the other way around. And then divide by 2, divide by 2, so they cancel out, so c is 5. Okay, so I can do this one. This one's back to front, so I'm going to swap it, because the z's on the right hand side, and I want to solve for the z. Okay, then I go plus 1, 40 on z equals 8, because 7 plus 1 is 8, times z, cancel out, 40 equals 8z. That is kind of back to front, so I'm going to go 8z is 40. The opposite to 8z is to divide by 8, so 40 divided by 8 is 5. Okay, this one here, that's plus 15. I might just write it this way, so write the letter first, so you can see. You're minus 15, so minus 42 on b equals 8 minus 15 is minus 7. How do I get rid of that b? Because I don't want the b on the bottom. If I times b on both sides, they cancel. Minus 42 is 7b. Swap it and write it the right way around. The opposite to timesing by minus 7 is divide by minus 7. Minus 42 divided by minus 7 is plus 6. Okay, and f, it's the wrong way around. Minus x plus 90 equals 82. Minus 90, cancel. Minus x equals 82 minus 90 is minus 8. Minus 1x is minus 8. Divide by minus 1, divide by minus 1. So x equals 8.